Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is an absolute banger. We get a crap ton of stuff done, hence the video being 30 minutes long. This is probably my best video yet, and I think you guys will agree. But without further ado, let's get into the video. To start the video off, I had really been needing a wither skeleton farm because I needed a bunch of wither skeleton heads to make all the beacons for all the builds I wanted to do. And it was becoming quite time consuming killing the skeletons normally, and it was really unsafe as well, so building this was a huge help. As you can see, the farm started working immediately, which was really nice. The next problem I was going to run into though was all the other mobs that can spawn in the fortress spawning as well, which lowered the amount of wither skeleton spawning, which was becoming a really big problem. The solution to this problem, however, was putting wither roses on the floor of the spawner, which only allowed wither skeletons to spawn. Now, getting the roses in itself was a whole other problem entirely, so I was going to have to go do that now. And if you're unaware, the way you get wither roses is by letting the wither kill mobs. And my genius plan I was going to enact was taking a bunch of chickens to the end to let the wither kill all the chickens, so then I would have a plethora of roses. This one chicken took me like 15 minutes to get to the end, and I was getting heated at this point. Because I potentially needed thousands of seeds to breed the chickens, I had to go get some, so here's me doing that. To put in perspective, I think I spent around an hour just breeding chickens, which was amazingly fun. As you probably noticed, the plan did not work at all. After a couple hours of work, we ended up with a whopping 2 roses. And you know what they say, if it doesn't work, try it again. So that's exactly what I did. After failing for the second time, I decided I was going to have to go with another strategy. Although the wither didn't kill the chickens, they couldn't escape my wrath in the end anyway. This next strategy involved letting snowmen get killed by the wither. Because the snowmen dropped snow when they died, you could infinitely do this until you had as many roses as you wanted. After getting probably around 1,000 roses, I called it quits. As you can see, after the farm was spawn-proofed with the roses, only skeletons were spawning, which was really big. I even got a skull while just testing it out. I noticed that my iron farm stopped working, and then after looking up at the villagers, I realized they were no longer villagers. Well, 2 of them weren't at least, because one turned into a witch and the other a zombie villager. So my plan was to cure the zombie villager and just breed it with the other villager up there. Because my world is one of communism, I had to introduce him to his life of slavery at an early age. Now that was taken care of, I wanted to work on these towers that surrounded the fortress. I've been pretty unhappy with the way they looked for a while, so I wanted to kind of give them an overhaul. Since there's going to be 4 of these towers, I decided to go ahead and start building the second one in conjunction with the first. Because the towers are really dark at night, I wanted to add some lighting to the side of them to really spice them up. Here's me starting on the third tower. To increase the reach of all my beacons, I decided to throw some on top of all the towers. I built this little covering for the beacon and it actually looked really cool, so I decided I would do it with all the other towers as well. I did have to end up adding lighting to the beacon because mobs could spawn up here, which is a problem, so this is me just doing that. And here's the finished product of the tower. I wasn't too terribly happy with it, but I think it looks a lot better than it did. The next thing I wanted to do was build a room for the super smelters that I had upstairs, just so I could get them out of the way and have an actual organized area for it, so that's what I'm doing here. After looking at this map for some time, I'd realized how much the world had really changed, so I wanted to make another map in the exact same way I had made that one, just to kind of track the progress of the world. Here's the map side by side to show the contrast between the old one and the new one. They felt kind of out of place on the wall, so I wanted to build these frames around them to kind of make them fit into the build a little more. Moving on to probably the most important part of the video, I really wanted to spice up the tower because I felt it was kind of lacking in the visual department. So I wanted to add some windows to kind of spice things up a little bit. So the next little while here, that's what I'll be doing. At this point in the video, I had to go on a little adventure, per se, because I needed to make green windows, and to make green windows, you need green dye. And the only way to get green dye in Minecraft is getting a cactus. And up until this point, I've yet to find a desert, so I had no cactus. So this journey was a long time coming, and it was an interesting one to say the least. It's like they say, it's not about the journey, but the destination. I wanted to get rid of the eyesore that was the sugarcane farm, so I kind of deleted it out of the castle. Something really didn't look right with the changes I had made, so I kind of just kept experimenting with stuff. So if you see me breaking and rebuilding stuff, that's just what I'm doing here. When I first built the castle, everything was like color-coded red, which doesn't really fit the build theme now, because I have one area that's going to be red, but that just kind of takes away from all the other colors. So I wanted one color from each area to be represented in the main beacon. After looking at the castle for a while, I realized that I was kind of doing too much with the windows, so I kind of took a lot of them away to kind of bring back that natural beauty it had before, and I think it really just made a big difference in making the castle look unique and cool. Keeping on the topic of windows, all the windows on the ground level were red and black, because that's how I made them initially, not knowing that I would color code everything. So here I am swapping all the colors to match the quadrant, and I think it looked a lot cooler this way, so... Each quadrant has its own little fountain area, and I wasn't really happy with the way they looked. They were just taking up space and not really adding anything. So I wanted to play around and try to make something look cool with it. This is the finished look for this quadrant. It looks a whole heck of a lot better than when I started, so I was really happy with it. And now I'm going to do the same thing on every side, but do a little twist with each different one. To end off the video, here's me finishing up this part of the farming quadrant. This ended up looking really cool, and I think you guys will like it a lot, so here it is. So this is actually the last bit of footage I have building this area because I ran out of storage, so OBS just cut off. So I'm just going to show you guys the end result. We have now arrived at the end of this nearly 30-minute long video, which is kind of crazy, but most importantly, I want to thank you guys for watching. It really means the most, and I hope to see you in one of my next uploads. So until then, peace.